Colombia's history is inseparable from the story of organized crime. From the rise of the cocaine cartels to urban militias and narco-terrorism, the country's most notorious criminals shaped global drug markets and caused decades of bloodshed. In this video, we explore 10 real gangster stories from Colombia. Shocking, violent, and painfully true. One story: Pablo Escobar, the king of cocaine. No name is more infamous in Colombian crime than Pablo Escobar. As the leader of the Medellin cartel, Escobar was responsible for smuggling over 80% of the world's cocaine during the 1980s. He built an empire worth billions, owned private armies, and even tried to enter politics. Escobar ordered assassinations of judges, police, journalists, and even bombed a commercial airliner. He was killed in a rooftop shootout in Medellin in 1993, but his legacy remains deeply controversial. True story. The Cali Cartel, the silent empire. While Escobar was loud and violent, the Cali Cartel ran things quietly, but just as effectively. Led by the Rodriguez-Orejuela brothers, they controlled 90% of the U.S. cocaine market after Escobar's fall. The Cali Cartel bribed politicians, operated sophisticated smuggling networks, and maintained a lower public profile. They were eventually brought down in the mid-1990s by a combination of U.S. and Colombian intelligence efforts. True story. Griselda Blanco, the Black Widow of cocaine. Griselda Blanco, known as La Madrina, was a Colombian drug lord who played a major role in the Miami cocaine trade in the 1970s and 1980s. Brutal and cunning, she pioneered drug smuggling methods, including using women and children as mules. Responsible for dozens of murders, she became one of the most feared figures in the business. She was deported to Colombia in 2004 and assassinated in Medellin in 2012. Four story. Gonzalo Rodriguez Gacha, El Mexicano. A top lieutenant of the Medellin cartel, Rodriguez Gacha was one of the most violent and militarized narcos in Colombian history. Obsessed with Mexican culture, he built private armies and carried out deadly massacres. His ambition to take over rival territories led to fierce internal conflict and brutal battles with leftist guerrillas. He was killed by Colombian forces in 1989. Five story. Los Pepes, vigilantes or criminals. After years of violence, a group known as Los Pepes, people persecuted by Pablo Escobar, emerged. Comprised of rival drug traffickers, ex-police, and victims of Escobar's terror, they hunted down Escobar's allies, killed his associates, and leaked intelligence to authorities. Some believe Los Pepes worked with Colombian and U.S. forces to bring down Escobar, blurring the lines between justice and revenge. Six story. The assassination of Luis Carlos Galan. In 1989, presidential candidate Luis Carlos Galan, who vowed to extradite drug lords and end narco-politics, was assassinated by hitmen linked to the Medellin cartel. His murder shocked the nation and marked a dark turning point in Colombia's war on drugs. It also exposed how deeply drug money had penetrated the country's political system. 7 story. FARC's narco funding network. The Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, FARC, started as a Marxist rebel group, but by the 1990s, they financed their war through cocaine trafficking, kidnappings, and extortion. FARC controlled large territories and partnered with cartels to export drugs. Their involvement in the drug trade transformed Colombia's conflict into one of the world's longest and most complex civil wars. 8th story: the Norte del Valle Cartel. Successors to Cali. After the fall of the Cali cartel, the Norte del Valle cartel rose to prominence in the late 1990s and early 2000s. Known for their internal betrayals and brutal tactics, leaders like Wilber Varela, Habon, and Diego Montoya, Don Diego, fought bloody wars over control of smuggling routes. The cartel eventually fell apart due to infighting and international pressure. 9th story: Don Berna and the urban paramilitaries. Diego Fernando Murillo, alias Don Berna, was a key figure who shifted from drug trafficking to running Medellin's paramilitary-controlled neighborhoods under the guise of security. As a leader in the United Self-Defense Forces of Colombia, AUC, he combined ideology, extortion, and trafficking. He later demobilized but was extradited to the U.S. in 2008 for continuing his criminal empire from prison. 10th story: the downfall of Otoniel, modern Colombia's top drug lord. Dairo Antonio Ushuga, known as Otoniel, was the leader of the Clan del Golfo, the most powerful criminal group in Colombia in the 2010s. Operating with paramilitary roots, the Clan del Golfo smuggled tons of cocaine annually, used violence to dominate rural areas, and battled FARC dissidents. Otoniel was captured in 2021 after years on the run and extradited to the U.S. in 2022. Colombia's gangster history is a complex web of violence, power, revolution, and tragedy. The scars left by the drug wars are still healing, but the fight continues, both inside the country and across international borders. These 10 real gangster stories are not just tales of crime, but of a nation's struggle for peace. Subscribe for more real crime stories from around the world.